You're giving us great health fitness tips, even to a 34-year-old like me, so I love that.
34 is a baby. I would probably want to go back to every set of mine and see. And that's what I've been telling Ahan to see. You know, I said, Ahan, see this film of Papa. See this film of Mr. Bachchan or Sanju or Rakshay or anybody. And take away this from there. And you will understand what I'm trying to say. And that's what he's been doing.
कि कौन सी फिल्म बोली उन्होंने देखने के लिए?
Told him to watch Border,
Yeah.
and he's doing Border 2.
Yeah.
I've asked him to watch Hera Fairy, not because of me, but because of Paresh and the chemistry that the three of us had.
Yeah.
To observe a director like Priyadarshan, where he tells you to cut a scene.
I always wanted to do such a character, and when Prince narrated the script to me, he was like, आप हवा में तीर मारोगे, and there's going to be jharnas, and the emotional craft of this character is so high.
Actually, I'd had a very, I would not call it fatal, but almost fatal bike accident in 2011. Not many people know about this. I broke the right side of my sinus. I have 3 metal plates holding my skull together. Even Sir does not know this. So I had broken my entire right side of my face. When they cut me open, my bones had turned into powder, literally.
K L Rahul posted such a beautiful story on motherhood and celebrating Athiya's first, right? As a father, how did you see that?
I see Rahul as that husband that I would always want for my daughter, a father to Ivara, and a perfect son-in-law to Mana and me. An absolute gentleman. ये हम है हिंदुस्तानी है और हिंदुस्तानी ये है. हम किसी के बीच में नहीं आते. हम हमारी दुनिया में खुश है, लेकिन बाहर वालों को आना भी नहीं चाहिए. इस तरह अतिथि देवो भव. तो गेस्ट बन के आओ. अगर पेस्ट बन के आओगे तो मुश्किल हो.
Hello everyone, this is Hesha Chimah and you're tuned on to Varinder Chawla's page. Joining me here for a conversation today is the team of Kesari Veer, and they're all set to bring this to you in a theatre near you. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Thank you.
I'm going to actually start off on a happier note by first congratulating you, sir. I feel it's so sweet to have you evolve now into a grandfather, but you look nothing like one. Let me tell you that. You're giving us great health fitness tips, even to a 34-year-old like me, so I love that.
34 is a baby.
I think I have more problems than you at your age, I swear. But if you were to describe this feeling, this whole journey, also because professionally there's so much coming in. There's, of course, Kesari Veer, and then you have a whole bunch of other lineups. And, of course, with Athiya taking on motherhood, what's the current phase of your life, if you were to describe it?
I'd say best phase of my life. And that's why I've always said that at every stage of life is beautiful. It depends on how you accept it, you know. Teenage days when you were single, then love, then marriage, and then a father, and then now grandfather. And I think that's ultimate. Right. It's now about a grandfather of how many is what I'm waiting for finally. You know, that's the excitement now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, not with Tia, I'm not saying 6 from where you are. But Ahan, you know, so look forward to that. Absolutely looking forward.
Yeah, for sure. You know, K L Rahul posted such a beautiful story on motherhood and celebrating Athiya's first, right? As a father, how did you see that? And what did you see, you know, for her evolving into this whole new age in her life?
I see Rahul as that husband that I would always want for my daughter, a father to Ivara, and a perfect son-in-law to Mana and me. An absolute gentleman. And I think the most beautiful post and the most beautiful words.
Yeah.
And that's when, as parents also, we keep telling ourselves, Mana and me, probably keep pinching ourselves and say we're blessed. I don't know a single evening where we haven't spent with the kids and with Rahul, and Mana has not come back to bed and told me, we're so lucky, na Jan. We're so lucky, na. So I think, touch wood, absolute bliss.
For sure. You know, I'm going to move on to Kesari Veer right now. Couple of questions for everybody out here. Firstly, I want to start off by asking you, Prince, right? I love the name Kesari Veer. It's so empowering in its own way. I feel it motivates you on its own. And then when you see a trailer, and then of course the film's there for everybody to watch. Can you take me into how the name Kesari Veer was coined?
Actually, the name of Kesari Veer is आज की अगर हम कहीं पे भी देखेंगे like everywhere is केसरी भगवा भगवा is केसरी and Veer are the soldiers.
Yeah.
तो आज हम अगर बॉर्डर की बात कर रहे हैं तो they are the केसरी वीर
Yeah.
and we have the केसरी वीर. Everyone is a केसरी वीर. That's why the name came out Bhagwa and the warriors together केसरी वीर.
Okay. What's that one thing that probably you discovered about yourself, about being a director on the set of this film, that you probably never knew earlier that you had, like a quality?
Sorry again.
What did you discover about yourself as a director on the sets of Case Ree that probably you never observed or knew about yourself prior?
Actually, केसरी वीर सिर्फ सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ मिला लाइक कल्चर के बारे में और जिस तरीके से रिलेशन है केसरी वीर में वो कहीं ना कहीं हम सबके अंदर हैं. सो रिलेशन के बारे में सीखने को मिला. और इसके अलावा ये सब माय फर्स्ट थिएटिकल फिल्म. सो ऑफ कोर्स टेक्निकल और बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखने को मिली. और सुनील सर का साथ था इसमें. तो ऑफ कोर्स जितनी भी पुरानी चीज़ें सर ने मुझे सिखाई हैं और जो चीज़ें मुझे बताई हैं वो कहीं ना आई थिंक जो एक चार्म मिसिंग होता है ना फिल्म मेकिंग में वो कहीं ना कहीं उन्होंने मुझे दिया है जो कि मैं इस फिल्म में डाल पाया. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई लर्न.
Okay, amazing. Suraj, let me start off by asking you this. When you say Veer, right? Veer एक ऐसा शब्द है जो हम सब relate करते हैं from वीरता in a way. We all have strength. We all have our own inner battles and our own wars that we fight. If I were to ask in Suraj's life, what was your moment of veerta or victory, and you felt you sort of really overcome it with grace and dignity, what would that one thing be? As an actor or even personally?
It has nothing to do with the film or my personal life or something. Actually, I'd had a very, very, I would not call it fatal, but almost fatal bike accident in 2011. Not many people know about this. I broke the right side of my sinus. I have 3 metal plates holding my skull together. Even sir does not know this. So I had broken my entire right side of my face. When they cut me open, my bones had turned into powder, literally.
Oh, sorry.
They had sealed my mouth for, I think, about 6 months. I couldn't eat. My jaws were clenched and they had sewn it together. I think for me, a Veer, I'm a little crazy Veer then. As my stitches came out, the first thing I went and did was I bought myself another motorbike.
Oh
So I
my
think-
guts.
but this is before I was an actor also. So I'm a person who never gives up, you know, and
Fighting what could be your fear.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm fighting what can be my fear. So that is Veerta for me.
That's amazing. You know, also since we're chatting, I have to pay you a compliment. I feel as an actor, आप में वो हर एक quality है जो एक quintessential actor में होनी चाहिए. Whether we talk about the looks, whether we talk about the physique, whether we talk about acting skills. Yet, if I'm looking at your filmography somewhere down the line, there have been gaps, right? If you could observe and tell me what's probably the one thing that's holding back from the industry to see and open up to you fully, what would that be?
Just body of work. I mean, from now, I hope there's no stopping, you know.
Absolutely.
Of course, there's no stopping. Just want to do good work. And I still have so much more to learn, so much more to offer to the audience. I will get there.
Okay.
You'll see more of me.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Of course, sure. Coming to you, Akansha, जब मैंने trailer देखा, and this is a sweet compliment that I have to pay to you. First of all, you're so beautiful and so charming and so graceful on screen. And when I saw you do those moves, I was like, she's giving me like, you know, young Kareena Kapoor from Ashoka vibes, you know.
Oh my God, that's a very
it's
big
a lot. Like I know whatever you've done, it takes a lot, right? Because we're considered to be very fragile, etc. But tell me, when you probably heard the script or got the narration, क्या visual imagery थी आपके character के बारे में that came alive for you?
I always wanted to do such a character, and when Prince narrated the script to me, he was like, "आप हवा में तीर मारोगे, and there's going to be jharnas, and the emotional graph of this character is so high." And then I got really excited because I was like, for me to touch all these notes in my first film, it's going to be such a task, but I love accepting challenges, and it came as such a beautiful challenge. It came as my first film, and the entire process of filming this character, I feel like I actually came to know who I am as a person. And so this film has given me a lot more than just a debut. It's brought me closer to myself.
Amazing. Suniel sir, आपसे जानना है, from a career that's been so rock solid with your own share of ups and downs and experimenting, and of course हमने पहले बात की that what a great entrepreneur you are as well. Tell me one or two things that जो आपने आपके बारे में observe किया, evolve किया, and that makes you still such a relevant actor even today.
I think time management, valuing my time as much as I value others, and staying grounded.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and being consistent with what I do. Anything that I do, I love my craft even today. I mean, my director should be saying this, but I am like a student when it comes to filming. I will discuss everything with my director in the van. The minute I'm out of the van, I hand myself over to them completely, But over a period of time, probably my biggest strength now after my sabbatical has been understanding of cinema, because I've watched more films in that sabbatical during that period than I ever did, and realized with my own work what was wrong, and the kind of films that I did, what was wrong with them. It was not always about content. It was about producer. Yeah. It was sometimes about the director. It was sometimes about the release and the time period. What mattered. I think now I have a bigger, much, much larger understanding of what the end user needs. And that's why in every scene that we discuss, the question asked is, okay, what is Suraj going to gain out of this scene? What is Amir going to gain out of this scene? What are the audience going to gain out of this scene? Is it going to be just for us, or is there a takeaway that there is? So all these little things, nuances, I think I've begun to understand. So and that is helping me with everything that I sit for Ahan. I never sat on my scripts like I did today, but for Ahan, I'm there with that magnifying glass, checking for mistakes, asking the question, being the bad guy. But I think that during this period.
Okay, this brings me to two more questions that I have for you, sir. I want to ask you, अगर आप किसी अपने set को revisit कर सकते purely as an observer, वो कौन सी film होती, and probably where you feel that this now probably I could have done it better because of the sheer understanding that you said जो भी आपके पास है.
I think every film
yeah
is needs to be redone. You need to improve and constantly improve, because everything is changing. The way people look at content is changing today.
Yeah.
तो कहाँ वो टाइम का मेलोड्रामा और कहाँ यहाँ, लेकिन कहाँ मेलोड्रामा की जरूरत है वो भी है. जैसे ये किरदार में अगर मैं genuinely मेलोड्रामा करूँ, it will work. Luckily now, technically also things have worked out in such a way that you started looking larger than life. The kind of cameras, the kind of equipment, the kind of safety equipment that there is. So I think I would probably want to go back to every set of mine and see. And that's what I've been telling Ahan to see. I said, Ahan, see this film of Papa. See this film of Mr. Bachchan or Sanju or Akshay or anybody, and take away this from there. And you will understand what I'm trying to say. And that's what he's been doing. That's what he's been continuously doing, because after his first, he hasn't done a second. It took a long time. Whatever we went through is all worked out now, and he's working on those films. But he's prepared now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I said every time Suraj works and he's doing something, keep reminding me of the boys who constantly believe in themselves and know one day we'll make it. But they have the patience to wait till that day, and that's what every kid needs to do.
आपकी कौन सी फिल्म बोली उन्होंने देखने के लिए?
I told him to watch Border, and he's doing Border 2.
Yeah.
I've asked him to watch Hera Fairy, not because of me, but because of Paresh and the chemistry that the three of us had.
Yeah.
To observe a director like Priyadarshan, where he tells you to cut a scene so that it doesn't stretch and becomes chewy.
Yeah.
I've told him to watch Hututu, and how Gulzar Saab does a script. I've asked him to watch Ye Tera Ghar Ye Mera Ghar of mine, you know, ki how does a Suniel Shetty who's all muscle and convinces people that he can beat up 18 people, suddenly drop his shoulder and become that one landlord who is scared to take on his tenant and wants her out. And how he's using people around. That is a massive shift.
Yeah.
You know, there's a massive shift. So I've told him to observe all these little things and how Papa used to mess up with his dialogues and, you know, how I was a bad dancer, so how he could improve there. I think as much as my positives is something that if he believes he wants to take it, he'll take it. But the negatives is something that I can always show him. Say, this is where I was bad and this is why I probably didn't attain what I deserved to attain also. You know, I honestly believed I deserved a lot more because of the kind of effort I put in. But it's not just effort. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah, for sure. But then, of course, you have a whole lot coming on in as well for you where now is the time to sort of work from there and move forward. But we still love you, sir. It is what it is. Anna is always there for us. Suraj, coming to you, I have to ask you this. Today, when you're on a set, like I'm specifically talking about Kesari Veer for you, right? From then to now, right? What are you now aspiring to do between action and cut that you sort of know that, okay, this is what I've gotten? Other than that, whose validation are you seeking the most then?
All my directors. If it's a yes from him, and if it's a no from me, I can just go and ask him, कि sir, मैंने थोड़ा इसमें मुझे लग रहा है ऐसा किया है. If he tells me मुझे वही पसंद है, then I'm 100% convinced with my director. I think the director is the captain of the ship, you know, until film is out.
Yeah.
Even till today, till 4 o'clock, he's working on the film, you know. So it's his brain, is his baby, more than everyone else's. Just the director, and I mean, I feel the same on each film set. I'm as excited when they say roll camera and as excited when they say pack up.
The world just switches off, right, at that point. Like right now, I have 50 issues, मैं सब भूल गई हूँ because you're here, we're so present. Yeah, great, good to know that. Akansha, debut, theatrical, सबके लिए बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है. Everybody dreams, wishes and aspires to be there, right? Where are you at this point? Pressure some, what's happening?
Surreal. It's a very surreal moment for me because I knew that I wanted to work in the films, but I didn't realize that it would become so huge for me, you know, having to do my scenes with Suniel sir and working with Suraj and in such an important film, a film that needs to be shown, a film that needs to be made.
Right.
And in a way, I'm kind of contributing to the society in, you know, bringing this important message, and I'm really proud of that. And yeah.
Okay. You know, I also have to bring this up and say this. Kudos to the team here, क्योंकि हम एक ऐसे era में हैं जहाँ पर censorship, especially socio-political issues को लेके बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. But your film's gotten the support of our CM, and he's urged people to go and watch the film, right? Which is great. Okay, question for everybody. What are you all now hoping and feeling? कि ये क्या round table conversations types, like, you know, what can it probably start for people out there? Because every film leaves an impact. Every film stays. Good, bad, doesn't matter. But it does have something to take away. One thing each that you all can tell me. Going with you, sir.
I think start with the students. So
Sure, for sure.
I think every kid wanting to tell an India story. There's so many unsung heroes, so many stories to be told.
Yeah.
Our industry realizing that I'm not talking about just historical films. I'm just talking about India stories. The Hindi film industry realizing that कहानी तो हमारी ही है यार.
हाँ.
और बदलाव अगर आ सकता है इन कहानियों से ही आ सकता है. जहाँ वेस्ट को भी इंटरेस्ट होगा क्योंकि हमारी दुनिया अलग है और इंडिया को भी वो फर्क पड़ेगा. So I think with this film, with films like Chawla and, you know, all this coming, the narrative should change, which means we'll see the old Hindi cinema, which was at its best.
Also, can I add to this, sir, and say that कि when you see history visually, वो ज़्यादा याद रहती है.
Absolutely.
You know, हम book में कितना भी पढ़ ले, but अगर आप ये देखोगे,
ये book में कभी पढ़ाया नहीं गया.
Correct.
एक तो ये पढ़ाया नहीं गया. तो जब आप ये narrative लेके आप देश की narrative फिर set कर रहे हो. हॉलीवुड ने भी हमेशा बड़ी बड़ी फिल्में बनाई from their narrative perspective, you know, the army, their navy, their air force, their country and Vietnam और ये वो उन्होंने वो पिक्चरें दिखाई हमको और हमने वो देखा और हमने बिलीव कर लिया कि हिस्ट्री यही है. तो वही नैरेटिव्स हमारे जो है हमें भी बाहर डालनी चाहिए कि ये हम है हिंदुस्तान ये है और हिंदुस्तानी ये है. हम किसी के बीच में नहीं आते, हम हमारी दुनिया में खुश है, लेकिन बाहर वालों को आना भी नहीं चाहिए. इस तरह अतिथि देवो भव, तो गेस्ट बन के आओ, अगर पेस्ट बन के आओगे तो मुश्किल होगा.
वो तो हो ही रहा है given our current situation and we are all so proud of where our nation is right now. Akansha, आपके लिए, do you want to add?
I think it's in a way history repeating itself, and when I mean, we don't fight first, but when it comes to war, we don't sit back quiet. And
Absolutely. Suraj, what's your takeaway?
Your question was about the film.
Yeah.
Of what message does it send
How
out?
does it leave that impact, especially now? मैंने कहा जैसे era है, socio-political चीजों पे censorship हो जाती है, but यहाँ there is a person who's backing it, which is also the CM of our nation, for all the right reasons, I'm sure. तो ये क्या, you know, what can it stir amongst the audiences? What's that takeaway?
Actually, Sunil sir is in close touch with our CM. He just showed him the teaser. Then he felt interest. He said, "ये अच्छी लग रही है." Then he showed him the trailer.
Wow.
ये तो बहुत अच्छी लग रही है. Then we went for an event that Sunil sir had invited all of us for. We went there and we had no idea that Mr. Devendra is going to speak about our film, and he gave a good, proper speech about our film.
Yeah.
For a good
3 minutes.
3 minutes, you know. And Sunil sir and me were just looking at each other. He's like, it's very sweet of him to do it.
Yeah.
And then when sir came back, Varinder sir was sitting right next to Sunil sir, and Sunil sir said, you know, thank you sir for this. He's like, नहीं मुझे तो picture भी देखनी है, you know, because he actually liked it. He said, मुझे पसंद है ये, मुझे देखनी है film, you know. So it came from his heart, you know.
Yeah, and that's why I pointed out, क्योंकि we need that. Some films have not recently gotten it, which of course have done. Chhawa has done crazy box office numbers.
Yes.
But अगर ऐसा कोई support मिलता है जहाँ पे हम अपनी history दर्शा रहे हैं, तो it's a very big thing.
I think he purely liked the content that we made, and
Absolutely. And because there were no expectations, we didn't ask him to say anything. It was a completely different event. It was a kabaddi event for juniors, you know, at a national level. So the Honorable Housing Minister Pankaj Boyer had called us, and we were very excited to be there and present something. And everybody was taken aback.
Yeah.
The entire audience started shouting Har Har Mahadev,
Yeah.
which means ये जो बात पहले कभी नहीं थी. आप 10 साल पहले ये बात करते तो बच्चों को पता ही नहीं था कि कौन क्या है, ज्योतिर्लिंग क्या है, चार धाम क्या है, कुछ नहीं पता. लेकिन आज के बच्चों को, all of you guys included, want to go to these places. You know, tourism has grown, and it's grown in India. Everybody talks about India and tourism. You don't talk about going to the West as much as you want to see your own country.
Absolutely.
So, you know, come pandemic, things has changed.
Yeah.
That's what they say. When with bad comes good. You know, you just have to wait for that period, and that itself is a big lesson to all the youth out there.
Yeah, absolutely. My time's almost up, but lastly, before I go, very curious to know, is there anything that you can talk about your upcoming projects?
I've got some interesting work happening. I've got my web series that are happening. I've got Hunter.
Yeah.
I've got Dharavi that goes into season 2. Hera Fairy is being talked about. I'm shooting for Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
And some interesting work. You know, the thing is, I'm at a stage where I need to be very clear that I need a lot of off time also. And I want to spend time with the family and with my grandchild. So I'm going to take on only that kind of work that will make my country proud and then me proud. I'm very clear. I'm a hardcore Desi. And I know the power of this media. And I'm going to use it now to tell the stories that I would want India to hear. You know, my biggest excitements probably in my life is to see Ahan in Border 2.
Yeah,
you know,
I hope you're there too.
You know, that full circle. So, you know, super excited about that.
Absolutely. Well, at this point, we've got Kesari Veer for everybody to watch, and we're hoping for that. I hope it does well for all of us, all together, because we're all a part of the same industry. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to more conversations. Thank you so
I
much.
must mention, you are bloody good at what you do, and the questions you asked, brilliant. By far the best today.
Yes, you woke us up.
Ah, thank you so much.
But the questions were very, very nice, made a lot of sense. It was different. Otherwise, energy goes down when there's a monotony in the questions. But great job.
So Varinder Chawla needs to pay you more.
I hope this is all recorded, guys. I'm going to be like, Suniel sir said this, but thank you so much. This really means a lot, all the appreciation. Thank you so much. Thank you.